I'm Derek.
And I'm Noah.
And you're listening. No, that's you.
Yeah,
Whenever you take a breath,
I'm
I always
sorry.
jump in. No breathing.
And you're listening to a bite of.
Where we take our current favorite pop culture obsession and enjoy it one nibble at a time.
I got chastised within 2 seconds of this episode for breathing.
Don't take a pause. That confuses me.
Well, don't take a pause in following us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at a bite of pod. Also, we have a Patreon. Support the show. Get bonus content, discounts on merch, and free merch. Leave a review. Stars, words, emojis. Yeah. Anywhere that you can. Yeah.
We thank you in advance.
Yeah. We're officially talking about She-Hulk, Attorney at Law.
Now you sound like you're from Queens. Yes, it's working.
I don't know why it came out. But this is our official before you watch. And we usually do these just to not only get ready for the show, refresh our MCU/Marvel brains, but also yours as well.
Yeah.
Some fun stuff.
We do research, and then we figure, well, we'll share it with you too.
He calls it research.
It is. It's research. There's books. There's articles. There's interviews to watch. There's tons of stuff. Trading cards, comics.
And we compile it all in a bite-sized nibbly portion. I was going to say fashion and portion together, so I said portion. For you.
A present.
Yeah. I'm so excited for the show. I'm just so excited for it. Jen Walters, I love her. I love her so much. The green giantess.
Yes. I'm very much looking forward to it. I mean, you all know me by now. I love a powerful woman character. It just makes me so happy. And I feel like we're getting brains and brawn with this character, and green and hair, and, comedy and serious law cases. So,
oh yeah,
that is a bundle I am looking forward to.
Yeah, Marvel is continuing to introduce new characters through the Disney Plus format. And I'm honestly super here for it. I love it.
Oh, totally. I think it's funny, though, like the trajectory we've sort of been on these last couple of series. We went from Moon Knight, which was ultra serious, to Ms. Marvel, which had a balance, to this one, which feels sort of like a comedy, sitcom.
Yeah, they've coined it as a legal comedy. So yeah. I'm here for Ally McBeal, but green.
But is there going to be a dancing baby? Ooga chaka, ooga chaka.
There better be. They can't say it is without it being
She's going to defend the ooga chaka baby in this.
You know what makes this also a little more exciting / scary is this is the second to last property we're getting from Marvel before Phase 4 is done. And then it's Phase 5 starting next year.
Yeah. What ends the fourth one?
Black Panther.
Oh.
Yeah. So next year starts Phase 5 and things are probably going to start getting serious.
So is this the last series we're getting on Disney Plus?
Yep. The only other one is Werewolf by Night, which is a special, so it's not a series.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. All right. So we want to issue a spoiler warning for this, because if you don't want to be spoiled about her origins, which I'm sure will slightly change a little bit for the show, feel free to come back and revisit this to compare and contrast.
Yes.
Right? But let us officially take a bite of before you watch She-Hulk.
Yes. Break it down, the things we think you should know about the sensational, the savage, the jaded.
Ooh, I like jaded.
Uh-huh.
A play. That one's fun.
Jen Walters.
So my research always starts with the trading cards of my childhood. And of the 3 that I have collections from, there was a She-Hulk card in each of those collections.
Because she's amazing.
So 90, 91, and 92 all have representation of She-Hulk.
Ooh.
So in 90, we see She-Hulk wearing a strapless purple dress, belted with her flowing green locks.
And she's coming out of a green car.
She's coming out of a green car, which is the actual did you know fact on the back of this. So I'm going to only read some fun things from these cards, because really an interesting thing about She-Hulk, well, something that I actually enjoy is that her origin story is the only origin story for her. It doesn't really change.
Right.
So that's really what's covered in her little synopses on the back of the cards, but there's some fun stats I want to share. So real name, Jennifer Walters. Group affiliation at the time, Avengers. She's also been part of the Fantastic Four.
Yay.
At certain points in time. She is 6'7" with a weight of 650 pounds.
She's dense.
Pure muscle, baby. Battles fought 445.
I hate this one.
I know. Wins 290. Losses 114. Ties 41.
Okay.
Making her win percentage 65%.
Oh my God.
This I thought was funny. Arch enemies. None of her enemies have been villainous enough to qualify as quote unquote arch.
That's okay. What year was this?
90.
That's insane.
Isn't that hilarious?
Yeah, that's
like
dumb.
Titania existed.
Yeah, also the
before
Wrecking
this.
Crew. I mean, there's quite a few.
Yeah, really funny. Nicknames Shulky,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Jade Giantess,
Yes.
and Big Green Mama.
Oh, no. Erase that from the card.
Okay, I'll do it right.
I don't
now.
want
Scratch
this.
it out.
I don't want that in the house.
Yeah. Burn it. Her did you know fact from this card, She-Hulk gets around in a lime green 59 Dodge convertible, which she had specially customized so it can fly as well as drive.
We really didn't need to read this card because it's making me mad.
They're like,
stupid.
they need you to know about the convertible of why it's actually on the card. Other than that, I don't get it.
I mean, it's a good shot. Look it up.
Yeah, it's great. In the 91 card, she is holding a very large sledgehammer in front of a brick wall, and she's wearing more of a pastel blue in this one.
Yeah.
It's interesting for her. So this is when we get into her power ratings.
Okay.
Here we go.
Out of 7?
Out of 7.
Stupid.
So strength 6. Okay. Speed 2. Not fast. Agility 3.
What?
Stamina 5. Durability 5. Intelligence 2.
Okay.
But I feel like that's low. She's a lawyer.
Give me a permanent marker.
Oh my, he's rewriting the
I
cards.
want to. Most of those should be up. She's more agile and speedier than the Hulk. It's just a fact.
Hello.
She's also extremely intelligent. She's an attorney. I mean,
So he must be 1 if she's 2 on
Yeah.
some of these rankings.
yeah.
The first line of this is pretty awful. She's a beauty with brains who packs a gamma-powered right hook. Did you know? When She-Hulk's not busy trashing supervillains, she's earning a living as a lawyer, a career she began as Jennifer.
And still does
And-
as She-Hulk, so I don't know what the... You can be pretty and also be smart. I'm just going to say.
That's what the
condone.
series is here to show us. So in 92, right? 90, yeah. So in this one, she is in her purple bodysuit with some,
Pretty standard.
yeah, barbells.
I mean,
She's working out.
the costume can be more realistic, but it's fine.
Yeah,
We
it's-
won't get into how they drew women.
Yeah, and I feel like in this one, like they did something to her face that doesn't feel very She-Hulky, and she also has some highlights. This one has
It's
power ratings.
just the sun.
It's just the sun. She also has power ratings here, so the strength is still at a 6. Intelligence has gone up to 3 in a year.
I have no
she's gone up
comment.
1.
I'm not going to comment on those.
Energy projection 1. Mental powers 1, which I guess is like shooting things from your head.
Well, I don't think they can go to 0. That's the thing.
Wow. Fighting ability 3 only, and speed still at a 2.
Okay. Whatever.
Yeah.
That one's worse than the other card.
Yeah, and then the bio on this one is pretty awful too. So the first line of this one is, most women might find it a drawback being turned into a super powerful green behemoth, but not Jennifer Walters. And then the last line is something like, stopping evil with her tremendous strength and stopping traffic with her green-hued good looks.
Meh.
Not great.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Obviously, that was probably a dude that wrote that.
Mm-hmm.
The only benefit I will give to that is Jen did like that she did get looks as She-Hulk, because she didn't as Jen.
Right. Well, the quote, so this one has quotes. The
Uh-huh.
92 cards have quotes. It says, I'm 6'7" and bright green. People are going to stare at me no matter how I dress. And that came from the She-Hulk graphic novel from 1985.
Right.
So that's a little glimpse into She-Hulk. These seem very off in their sort of thoughts.
They all do. They've never,
Jen?
like, I mean, most of them are, the power ratings are weird, but I guess, like, I don't know. They didn't really do huge feats like that in comics then. No, in the 90s they did. I don't know what they were thinking.
I always wonder, like, when they were making these cards, if they were very seriously, like, doing these power ratings, or they're just like,
No.
I don't know, 6, 2, 1. I don't know.
They gave it to the intern. That's what they did. They're like, I get to do math.
I'm adding up. I guess
Yeah.
5.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
those are the trading cards. I think they give us a very low starting point. So we're going to fill in all the gaps here.
Yeah, let's talk about cool things about She-Hulk.
I like that.
Yeah, let's talk about her origin, her first appearance, what we like, what we expect from the show, some villain stuff. I'm excited for that because those cards always make me so angry.
I love them though because I mean they're so horrible. They're like kitschy, and you have to take them as face value. It truly is for me just like the joy I felt of opening a new pack and getting a new card.
Yeah,
the collector in me loves it.
Yeah, I love them as well. But when you actually read them, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Especially in the women, it's not great.
Well, when I was a kid, I don't actually think I read them, which is what's funny. I just like the illustrations and the power rankings, which I obviously didn't take seriously.
It's like the Pokemon cards.
Totally.
If you
I didn't play the
it.
game.
Right. So we could jump straight into Jen and how she got her powers, but just a quick refresher on Mr. Bruce and how he got his powers, because it ties, shockingly, directly to She-Hulk.
Good old BB.
So in Hulk's 1962 introduction, Dr. Bruce Banner got caught in a blast of gamma bomb, and the radiation transforms into the Hulk, the Green Goliath with super strength, speed, and invulnerability. That's all I'm going to say with that. His powers are more of a curse than a gift. Bruce can't control his transformations, and when he is the Hulk, he operates out of a place of pure rage. In the MCU, he got irradiated while working on the super soldier serum. Same outcome, different situation. So it was just MCUified. A lot of the earlier MCU stuff had to do with the super soldier serum. Not really anymore, unless it ties directly to Cap or Bucky. So we might see it come about a little more in Captain America 4, but that's how Bruce got his powers. So that's it. That's all I'm going to say about his origin.
I did enjoy there's in two of the runs that we looked at for our research, the one in 1980, which is her original run, and the one in 89, they tell you again
every time
how Bruce Banner got his powers.
It's almost like you read a comic that's slightly related to them, or they're going to appear, and they're like, "Oh, this is the Hulk." Remember when they got? It's like, I got it.
And it's so funny because like I feel like in the MCU, it's like things happen because they were in a room when something exploded. And so for Bruce Banner in the comics, he's a scientist. He's testing these gamma rays in a place that's supposed to be empty. And then some teenager in a red convertible drives through the desert, and he has to go save him. And one of my favorite lines is that it says he threw the teenager into a safety trench or something like that, but he didn't make it.
It's just a ditch, with trash
that just happened to be there. So the kid was fine, but Bruce wasn't.
The scientist was able to throw him so far that he could not follow.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he got gamma rayed.
Yeah.
It was all over.
So this brings us 18 years later to 1980 with Savage She-Hulk #1. Oh my God. Every time I try to say that. Written by Stan Lee. So to condense her origin through her first run, really, her father is William Walters, a sheriff in Los Angeles County, and Elaine Walters, who died in an accident when Jennifer was 17. Later on, kind of where the issue picks up a little bit, it does talk. When she's talking to Bruce in this first issue, she kind of talks about their past and stuff growing up. She does become a hotshot attorney with a thriving career until crime boss Nicholas Trask sends goons out to shoot her.
Yeah.
To kill her.
Yeah, basically, she's defending a guy that he's trying to frame. And so now she's trying to play like the law game, I guess, by like spreading a rumor that she has evidence that it could be Trask.
I don't think that's good. That's nice.
I don't think so.
Or legal.
Either. It's basically lying.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know what Stanley's grasp of law is, but
it's fine.
This is what he put in.
Yeah.
And as so Trask releases his goons on her, and it's bad.
Oh yeah.
Shoot her in the back.
Yeah, Bruce comes to visit, aka running from all the government agencies and the Avengers because he is the Incredible Hulk and he has anger issues. And everything like that. And they want his blood and they want to experiment with it.
Your blood.
Yeah. She gets shot in the back. He
Speaking of blood,
thwarts the goons with a garden hose by spraying water in their eyes
because
they can't shoot with water in their eyes.
Yeah. And
that's what they say.
And he saw, like, what did he say? He saw, like, police using this to control crowds or something.
Yeah, riot control, which is, again, that's a fire hose. That's not a garden hose, but it's fine. They got away right into her house that they just left from.
Yeah. Luckily, the goons do not follow them into the house.
They can't come in unless they're invited in.
Vampires.
Yes.
Vampires. But what he does know, he doesn't have to get the bullet out.
He's not that kind of doctor.
No, he doesn't have to suture the wound.
No.
What he has to do is a blood transfusion.
Which he knows how to do.
Absolutely.
And so she got shot in the back, guys.
Yeah.
Like right possibly in the spine. I don't know. It was like
bad.
Looked like right down the middle.
Oh my God.
He lays her down, wound side down, gravity, liquid, just, you know how it works.
That'll get the bullet out.
Right. Nothing to help the wound, only to further the wound.
Right. I don't understand
And
this.
then also to give her more blood that he's helping release from her body, which in turn irradiates her because he has Hulk blood.
He's got gamma blood, baby.
Yeah, exactly. So she gets taken to the hospital because that's where they actually help her.
Yeah.
In closing the wound.
He's done enough to keep her alive.
Yeah.
With the blood transfusion.
Even though the goons couldn't see that they went into the house right where they were at.
Guess what?
They knew exactly what hospital room she was at.
Mm-hmm.
Try to chloroform her because that's the classic way to kidnap somebody.
Of course. I like when she first wakes up in the hospital room, she says, "Oh,
my body feels weird.
Oh, my bones feel tingly."
Yeah.
She goes, "This one's got a little sweetness on it." No, she goes, must be the medicine they gave me. And then the quote unquote doctors come in who are actually the goons. And it's so funny because like one of them is wearing like aviators or something. And he's got like a mop top. She's like, "Oh, doctors." And they're
she says this line. She's like, "How many doctors does it take to give me medicine?" And then they're like, "Here's a cloth of chloroform."
So as they're trying to snuff her out, guess what she does? Turns into She-Hulk. Although she's just a Hulk at this point.
No, they literally give her the name in the same panel she changes into She-Hulk. He says she's like some kind of She-Hulk. And that's it.
I mean, truth.
How she got her name from these low goons that just tried to shoot this innocent woman.
Yeah.
They gave her the name.
Right. And so what does she do? She throws her hospital bed at them. And so they run. And one of my favorite, like, couple of pages or couple of panels is they go into the elevator because I guess they're on a higher floor. And as they're going down, she pries open the elevator doors, grabs the cable of the elevator and pulls them back up.
Yeah.
She punches a hole in the ceiling and they run screaming.
Yep. And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
End of She-Hulk forever.
Yeah. Then she kind of like, she's like,
changes back.
I'm getting weaker again. And then she goes back into the hospital room. But then a nasty nurse comes in. She's like, "Oh, did you see that horrible lady Hulk out there? Evil and angry, just like the regular Hulk."
She's not a witch.
She looks like one.
She's like 20.
No, she's not. She's an old lady.
They all look the same in those comics, to be fair.
Rude.
It's all about the tint of the hair color.
So then Jennifer's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." Dot, 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 dot.
Yeah.
It was a great first issue.
End of episode. It was fun. It was kind of hijinksy. I mean, guns, people getting shot in the back, but it's fun.
Oh yeah, the violence. I just love that. I love that like in the older comics, like it was just like, we're just going to shoot you with a gun.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like, I don't know, lasers and stuff like that.
Hey, people still get ripped in half and stuff. They wouldn't have done that back then.
But there's something different about gun violence, right?
Yeah, it sucks.
Well, yeah, like they don't do it as much anymore is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's jarring to see.
Yeah, exactly. There is one clear difference, though, in her origin compared to Hulk's. Is that she's all there when she's She-Hulk. She can come back with the quips. She can speak. Hulk cannot do any of that.
No, he grunts a lot.
Yeah. But he wasn't able to fully be Bruce while being Hulk. Jen immediately was able to do all that. She also had a law career as She-Hulk. She would go into the courtroom, 6'7", green, and plead her case.
She'd wear a power suit.
Exactly.
She spoke in front of the Supreme Court. once.
Exactly. She's also really funny, which I'm excited for people to see because people that may not have read her comics or not know too much about her, she's pretty funny. She actually got a power later on that increased her funniness. John Burns, 1989, fourth wall break, which we see that she does in the show. Like, I'm so excited that she does do that.
See, they don't have the fourth wall break on the power rankings on the back of the trading cards. They don't put that in.
Because they're idiots. They're absolute idiots.
Something about the show, well, something about Tatiana Maslany, who's playing She-Hulk, is that she actually was...
breaks the fourth wall.
Well, no, she's an improv. She did like 10 years of improv before like landing her first major role. So she has the comedy chops.
And she talks directly to us. I like it.
Comedically.
The first time we do see her wall break, her fourth wall break, it's on the first issue, the sensational She-Hulk. It went from savage to sensational, which I think is...
leaning into her greatness.
Right, exactly. And it says, okay, now, this is your second chance. The previous run of the She-Hulk comics were, like, not doing great. And, like, X-Men was reigning supreme. And she says, if you don't buy my book this time, I'm going to come to your house and rip up all your X-Men comic. She literally on that cover, she has an X-Men comic. And it's like, yeah, threaten them to buy your comic.
It's really funny. And then, like, I think in a couple of the covers of those issues, she's always holding her own comic in them.
It's so cool.
She's very aware that she's had a comic run before this one.
I want to say that it did happen. I might be making it up, but it probably did happen where she's used the actual white space or the gutters of the comic book pages to hit enemies with. So it's really cool. She'll play with stuff like that, and she'll like grab the writer's pen and stuff. It's just really cool. It's a fun thing to do. I want to see how that is interpreted into live action, aside from just like a Fleabag situation where she turns to the camera and like acknowledges that we're watching her.
Is it going to be like Modern Family, WandaVision-esque, where she just has confessionals where she's talking directly to you about what's going on?
Well, so like I was worried about that, but in the trailer, they're literally doing something and she turns to talk to us and then Bruce is like, what? And I'm like, okay, this is Fleabag.
Well, yeah. Fleabag is too intense. Hopefully it doesn't get that intense where it's like some sort of life coping mechanism.
I mean, could be.
Dealing with Being Green.
Yeah.
An essay by Jennifer Walters.
Yeah. So as far as She-Hulk as a character goes, she's been on the pages for decades. I mean, the 80s, a long time. She's not just like a current or new one.
Yeah, 40 years.
Yeah, and she's been on a lot of different teams, which I think is really cool for this character from Avengers, like Derek had mentioned. The Fantastic Four, when the Thing wasn't in there, they needed muscle. So here comes Jen.
She looks good in purple and blue.
Exactly. I actually really like her Fantastic Four costume. It's pretty cool. It's better than Invisible Woman's with the like see-through four, and it's just not great. It's not great. And she was also on A-Force, which is a all-female led team, which is super badass.
That's baller.
I like a lot her relationships in the comics with particular characters are really fun. And even in the current run, Rainbow Rowell does the current She-Hulk run, which is phenomenal. You have to absolutely read it. It has everything that you love about She-Hulk, but more modern. And her relationship with Janet Van Dyne, who is the Wasp in the comics, in the MCU, it's Hope. But we also do see Janet, which is the mom.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Exactly. But she's like best friends with Janet. So that relationship is really cool to see, which you do see in the Rainbow Rowell one. She's really good friends with Hellcat and the Thing. So pretty much we've seen two of these characters so far in the MCU now that I'm assuming the Netflix stuff is canon because Hellcat was in Jessica Jones. So more friends for Jennifer Walters. I'm excited.
Yeah, I like that pairing of her and the Thing. There's something about these two very large human heroes that also are all there. Unlike Brucey.
Oh, right. Like the big, like,
right.
Muscle, not muscle,
like
but the muscle.
They can understand each other on another level.
Their relationship is really cool. It stems from kind of how tough they are personally, but also physically. And the Thing likes that he has somebody that he could kind of go back and forth with, like quip wise and also strength wise. In the newest Rainbow Rowell one, they actually have a fight club that Titania and She-Hulk do. And the Thing sees it happening and he thought she was in trouble, but then he's like, wait, can I join the fight club too? So it's really cool. I like their relationship a lot. She's also been through a lot in the comics, and I wanted to just name a few of my favorite ones just because she's a seasoned hero at this point. She's battled cosmic forces. She's gone toe-to-toe with Doctor Doom, which hopefully he gets in the MCU soon. Been mind-controlled by the Scarlet Witch, which resulted in She-Hulk ripping the Vision in half.
Whoops.
That was a lot of fun. She didn't get blamed for those because she was mind-controlled. She had to go to court to prove that she didn't do that.
I like that.
Which is funny. Argued with for mutant rights in front of the Supreme Court. Derek mentioned that. Married and then divorced a wolfman. All tying back to the beginning of our episode. See that, guys? And lost and regained control of her powers countless times. That's kind of the shtick with the Hulks. Too much rage, not enough rage. Too much emotion, not enough emotion.
And there's something to be said about being like a gray Hulk and a red Hulk.
Right.
Those have different things as well.
There is, if you really want to like know the current mythology of like why that happens, why the Hulk has his powers and all that stuff, the original Hulk run, he like went through a green door and then he's like the Hulk. Like he died technically and then went through a green door. That comes back in a recent comic run and they kind of expand on that. There's like this dimension with the green door and blah, blah, all this stuff. So, but all the other Hulks are kind of from other places. But yeah, so.
Feels sort of Green Lantern-esque. Right?
Yeah, but they're like physical places. And like apparently the other versions of Hulk were either clones or he has DID and, you know, Joe Fixit.
A Moon Knight situation.
Joe Fixit, which is like the Gray Hulk, which I love that Hulk so much. He's like a casino mob boss and terrifying. But yeah, so there's a lot of different Hulks. She-Hulk has gone Red Hulk and Gray Hulk before, but not for very long. She's usually green. She's the Jade Giantess. We can't change that at all.
Shulky.
Yeah, no, not at all. So as we like to do in our BYW, trying to make that work, I had said that to somebody recently that was like, I had shared something and they were like, but there's no before you watch thing or whatever. And I was like, we have a BYW coming out next week. And they're like, BYW? And I'm like, it's before you watch. I know we've never said that.
Hello.
But that's what that means, person.
I always get confused with BTS, behind the scenes. But I think of BTS, the international K-pop sensation.
Okay.
So acronyms are confusing.
They are very confusing, especially when you've like never said them before and you think everybody knows.
Well, I mean, if that person was like, you don't have a before you watch thing and you're like, you didn't watch out BFY, they should have known. BYF. BYW.
BYW.
Where did the F come from?
I don't know.
Before. I think that's the problem. I told you acronyms are hard. Aww.
So let's talk about the villains that we know are going to be in the show.
The cards say she has no arch nemesis.
Did you not hear me prior when I said fuck those cards?
I don't like F-bombs. No.
Fudge those cards.
There you go.
Fuck them.
No.
So the villains that we know that are in the show. Why are you laughing at me? Stop it. Self-conscious. The villains that we know.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I knew that's why
like
he was...
the 8th time.
I knew that's why he was saying
the
that.
Villains that we know. The villains that we know.
So one big one that we know that's going to be in the show is Jamila Jamil is taking on the role of Titania, which is She-Hulk's, one of She-Hulk's arch nemesis. The cards don't know, but she's there.
Not even mentioned.
She was in the comics before those cards happened. So
I agree.
It's very frustrating. But anyway, been her nemesis for a while. In the comics, she does get amped up with superpowers by guess who? Doctor Doom.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he like gives her powers flat out. So she has an interesting story. Like and her motivations I'm not so sure about in general.
Why do you need it when you have hair like that?
I guess. So born sort of the runt of the litter. Her parents didn't care about her. They named her Mary. And in school she was called Skeeter because she reminded everybody of a mosquito, so they called her Skeeter.
Yeah, that's her little AKA.
Yeah.
I like her parents for being like, what's a runt of the litter name? Mary. They said it while throwing up.
Yeah, they really like
assholes.
Of what's painted of her story in She-Hulk issue 10 from 2004. They literally had this child and could care less about her.
Oh yeah.
So she kind of she grew up basically not fitting in, wanting to fit in. She has a best friend, I believe her name is Marcia.
Yes.
And they are bullied by this really popular girl. She starts to create a lie that she's Spider-Woman.
I mean, has the hair.
Right?
Yeah.
The hair. But then is invited to a party where they get saved by Spider-Woman. So everyone knows she's lying. So in this tumultuous situation that's happening, it's like a world-ending situation, she's like really angry. And who shows up?
She-Hulk.
The Doomian himself.
Oh, I was like, She-Hulk? No, she doesn't.
And he's just like, hey, you seem really angry. If you give me your allegiance, I'll give you powers.
I mean, never trust Doom. Because it always comes with a consequence. Yeah.
So she becomes Titania. Her friend Marcia becomes some fire lady.
Yeah, it's like lava and stuff like that. Yeah.
And then she's just like, everybody told me I was the worst, so I'm just going to beat the crap out of everyone and show that I'm the best.
Yeah.
And that's sort of like her deal with She-Hulk is that
she's trying to outdo her.
She's trying to outdo her, but she keeps getting beat by her. Mm-hmm. So she just keeps coming back to try and get her again.
It's one of those things where it's like she has too much fake confidence. And she's messing up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she messes up. Her head's not really where it should be. And also like she is a villain, but like she doesn't have to be. And that's the interesting thing about her is like, just chill.
Well, I feel like that's what they explore in this Rainbow Rowell run.
Yeah.
That's out right now.
They're kind of like friends a little bit.
Yeah, they're frenemies.
Yeah.
But like more friendly than frenemies.
Yeah, they start that fight club. Like Titania comes out of nowhere in this run. I'm not going to spoil everything. And they fight. And Jen's like, you're not going to win. And she like realizes that like Titania's not really fighting her for any reason, but to blow off steam.
Mm-hmm.
But also Jen starts blowing off steam because of like stuff that's happening in the story. So they're like, hey, why don't we meet once a week in this abandoned area and just like duke it out? We can't really get hurt. We're not going to hurt each other. So let's fight.
Yeah.
And then Marcia is there as well.
Marcia's in the Rainbow Rowell run?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
So in looking at parallels between the comic and the series of what we've seen of Titania in the series.
Love it.
Is in the one that we were talking about where Jen or She-Hulk, she's She-Hulk, is defending someone with the Supreme Court.
Right.
Titania comes to the courthouse.
Oh my God.
And there's some funny scenes in here. She stomps outside, she slugs her across town.
That's where the comedy comes in because it's like there is a serious note of like Jen trying to appeal to the court of like, don't do the Mutant Registration Act because it's unconstitutional. But then also the dude's like, hey, we need your help out here. Titania's just like running amok. So she constantly has to keep going in and out of the courtroom, which if they don't show a scene like that, which I think they are, because we see Titania bust through the courtroom.
Right, exactly.
I'm like, it's happening.
I do love this. The second time she has to go out and fight Titania in this comic, she literally just clonks her on the head and drives her into the ground. And then she walks back in. She's furious.
It's really funny.
But that's what I'm saying is like, it looks like there's going to be a scene where Titania comes to the courtroom.
Oh yeah. She is the villain of the series. Like they've already from what they'll tell us, she is the villain of the series. And I like that they changed her origin or who she is motivation wise a little bit. She's like a big time influencer and stuff. So she's kind of like Zoe with powers from Miss Marvel.
She does look a little more fashion forward.
But she's not going to like go good. She just wants to beat the crap out of.
She wants it for the likes.
Exactly.
She's doing reels on Instagram because they're making you now.
But Jamila, oh man, I couldn't have. She's the perfect casting for this. I was a little like, that's an interesting choice. You know, seeing The Good Place, seeing her on Legendary. I mean, fashionable, absolutely. The way she speaks, love it. But I was like, Titania. I was like, huh. I mean, sure. Let's see what it happens.
Yeah.
And then the few scenes I've seen her, I'm like, I like it.
Yeah, I'm leaning into it as well. I do want to say like it would have been cool to see like a really like big in stature, muscular woman play the role, which would have been sort of cool, rather than a supermodel.
Yeah, I like it. We know she can act, though.
Well, no, I'm not saying about her acting. I'm just talking about the representation in the show.
That's true.
Granted, now there's more diversity in the cast, which is a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think maybe there was a lost opportunity there.
She does get her. She is connected to like a belt a lot too. Like, you know, the belt kind of gives her like power, like all this other stuff. So it's like I'm curious to see where her powers come from, like why she's able to do. Is she a mutant?
Right.
Because we know mutants are a thing now.
Because the whole thing with Titania is that she's just really, really, really strong.
Right.
So where is she going to get her strength from?
Exactly. So super excited for her. The next big one that we've seen, which I don't know if he's necessarily going to be a villain, but we know he is a villain in the MCU. Tim Roth will reprise his role as Emil Blonsky. He was the villain in the 2008 Incredible Hulk movie. Edward Norton played the Hulk back then. There's been 3 people that have played the Hulk.
Back then.
But technically that Hulk is Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. They just changed the actor. That's all they did. Because the Incredible Hulk is what started the MCU. And then, you know what I mean? It's like Iron Man and Hulk were the ones that like pushed it forward.
This isn't a Quicksilver situation.
No. No, it's not. But so he is the Abomination. So Blonsky was, just to refresh our memories a little bit in the MCU, because it's been forever. Remember, that's the one where Liv Tyler played Betty? It was like, Betty. That's what happened in that one. That one's okay. I'm just not, like, I don't want to get any hate from people that like that, and I just don't want to yuck anybody's yum. It's not for me. It's not my cup of tea.
That's fine. That's fine.
But the Abomination was fun in that one.
And he's back.
Right. So he was a soldier recruit by General Thaddeus Ross, Thunderbolt Ross, R.I.P. He recently died, unfortunately, the actor that played him, Betty's dad, to capture the Hulk. Along the way, he got a dose of both. Listen to this. This is the cocktail. Super soldier serum and gamma irradiated blood.
That's too much.
Yeah, so the Hulk's blood, stop it. Like, stop bleeding.
He
everywhere.
just keeps, like, he cuts himself and he just, like, shakes his hand all over the place. It goes everywhere.
This is the same one where at the end, the leader becomes the leader with the blood that dripped into his head.
The head.
I'm sure we'll see him at some point again. But so he got those and he became the big old monster, the Abomination. In She-Hulk, it appears that he is back in his human form and will be one of her clients, which is interesting. That's what I'm excited about the show as well, is that who's going to be her clients, who are going to be the cameos. I don't usually get excited about cameos, but literally anybody could show up in this show.
Well, and that's something that's interesting is now, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like in the Disney Plus shows, this is the first time a new character is having a veteran MCU character at the start of the series with them.
Moon Knight, no. Miss Marvel, no.
Right.
That was it.
And then like Falcon, Winter Soldier, and Bucky, they're both from the MCU.
Well, they're
Wanda
veterans.
and Vision are veterans. You know what I mean? So this is the first time where like an older character is coming to meet a new character.
Yeah, which I think is nice because this is a direct legacy character. Well, no, I don't even want to say legacy character because that's weird because she's her own thing. But yeah, I mean, this is the direct one where an origin starts with somebody that we know already. Hopefully we get a little more Hulk in the future, but I'm excited to see multiple Hulks and one that's a little more, well, no, they're both with it.
It's so funny though. The more Mark Ruffalo is on the screen as a Hulk, the Hulk version of Bruce Banner just has Mark Ruffalo's face. It gets more and more
100%.
Ruffaloed as time goes on.
Yeah, 100%. I don't feel like he's going to be Professor Hulk for long. Just character development and story arc wise, they're gonna do something with him.
Think he's gonna rage out again?
Something has to happen.
Red.
No, we don't want Red. Red's bad. Bad news bears. We don't want that.
She has to stop her own cousin at some point.
That could happen. I could see that. I just don't want him not being able to turn into the Hulk again, especially when they need it.
Yeah.
Because that's a little frustrating. But again, I'm excited to see Blonsky back on the screen. We did see him in Shang-Chi fighting Wong, and then we saw Wong open up the portal, and he went to that container cell that we have seen in the trailer. So it's all connecting here.
And speaking of Wong, Wong will be in this as well.
Yes. Very excited for that. One of the last things that we'll talk about is the placement in the MCU, because I always find this pretty fascinating. Like, where are they going to put it? Because they're technically in the future from our current timeline. So where is it? So the head writer, Jessica Zhao, kind of clarified it a little bit. But again, what show was it? Was it Miss Marvel or Moon Knight, where they're like, kind of here? It's the same answer. Might have been Moon Knight, maybe. One of the shows.
Yeah, both.
Yeah. So they said that it's not too far after Shang-Chi. It's not like years later. It's a relatively short period of time. So Shang-Chi is known to take place after Falcon and Winter Soldier, but before Eternals and both Spider-Man movies and Hawkeye. So 2024? If my math is right.
Okay, listen. Listen.
It matters only in that if something happens like in the future or in the past from when we see this, then it's like, okay.
You know who I wish we had with us right now?
Who?
Kamala Khan.
Yes.
Because she would have made a bitchin' animation to the things that you just said with the actual timeline moving.
And probably the correct math as well.
And then having that visualization would have really helped.
Oh, yeah.
I need the marvelous visualization.
So pretty much it takes place after a lot of the stuff that already happened, but not years.
So people have been blipped. They've come back from blipped. Infinity Wars is not like in the past, right?
Yeah. So it takes place before those things, but after Falcon and Winter Soldier and Shang-Chi.
Right. But what about Loki?
Yeah, I don't know. In space and time, who knows?
Okay, that's just whenever.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
always.
not even. Well, it technically it takes place after the first Avengers movie at first.
Well, that's true.
And then I don't know where he is.
Okay, I won't talk about Loki anymore. Forget it.
All right, so we'll kind of wrap it up here and just give our final thoughts on what we're most excited about, what we expect, all that type of stuff. I am so excited that it's 9 episodes. It's 30 minutes. It's feeling very WandaVision-y almost. I was really excited for Moon Knight. I was really excited for Miss Marvel, but I'm kind of a different excited with this one because so many people are going to be in it, but I love when new characters are introduced because I just want to see what they do.
Yeah.
I want to see how they do it and how it fits into the MCU stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the sort of like, okay, granted this is DC, but the Suicide Squadness that this might have where
with the villains
are just like random villains are going to show up and be like, who is that? What is that person? What can they do?
Yeah.
Like that I always think is so fun.
The one scene I'm super excited to see, and I hope it happens. So we know Daredevil is now in the MCU. We know that he's going to be in this show. I'm excited that he's in this show. I want to see them duke it out in the courtroom. Like, I just, because they're both lawyers. Like, they have to.
There better be objections coming out of the wazoo, baby.
I'm really excited for that. But I've heard that there is a post-credit scene in every single episode.
Oh, my dreams are coming true.
Yeah, so I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this. Like I said, kick-ass She-Hulk. I'm looking forward to training montage. I love a good origin story. There seems that I feel like there's going to be a lot of heart with this character on top of the comedy.
I mean, she's doing some like dating and like being all like
va-va-voom.
Yeah. I just love the image of her picking up that guy and taking him to the bedroom, I'm assuming. And I'm just like, yeah, you get it.
She does what she wants.
Yeah.
She's She-Hulk.
Yeah. Well, first episode that we're covering comes out very shortly after this. So see you then.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to A Bite Of, artwork and editing by our own Noah. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at A Bite Of Pod and on Facebook at A Bite Of. If you have questions, recommendations, or just want to say hi, you can email us at abiteofpod@gmail.com. You can find us on all podcast platforms. Please be sure to rate and review to spread the word. Hope you join us next time on A Bite Of. Bye!